What's happening, everybody? Welcome, Truckers Education Network. This is the Listen to Like show. I'm your host, and this is all my opinions. And if you don't like it, what can I say, right? This is what it is. Alaska Trucker, welcome to the show. Man, I must be broadcasting at the right time. Jerry got something to listen to. Big Rig CEO, Shady Brokers, are you sure? Yes, and we'll go over that. We're going to talk about that. Freight relocators, what's happening. A few shout-outs no one likes it. So, I get a bunch of people commenting they don't like it, but, tough, right? My channel, I can do what I want. So, there you go. Let's see what I'm doing here. I got to get this part here going so I can put the comments up on the screen and stuff like that. Don Sugar, what's going on? PJ, what's happening? What's up, Snore Lord? CDN, I've been caught. Shoot, the jig is up. No, CDN, it's not you, right? It's not you. We all know that. Let me log into YouTube real quick. Bear with me. I started this because I had some free time, and it's going to take a second to get set up, and I don't want the back feed coming through, so we'll turn the microphone off on that. We'll paste this. If anybody wants to come in, we'll let you join in today. There it is. We're going to pin it at the top. Pin the message. Anybody wants to come in, you can come in. All right. So, beware of broker scams. Now, there is, if you're a carrier out there and you get contacted and it looks like a broker packet, but it's for these websites that want to link brokers and carriers together and so forth. And when you do that, right, any broker goes on their site and brokers a load, right? Through them, they say you're automatically signed up with that broker. But you're not, right? You're signed up with that website, but not that broker. So if you do not have other ways to check broker credit, then you're setting yourself up for big problems. We just had one try to pull a fast one on us, right? So the great folks at Thunder Funding, that's why you use a factoring company. Plus, we have a broker check credit website that we can use. And when you put in their MC number, guess what shows up? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. No history. So then you go into safer, right? Because, some single owner operators are going to fall for the scam. And the scam is this. Oh, well, we'll pay you right away. We can EFS you express code. We can ACH it to your bank if you get your bank account only for 3.5%. And, we'll do this as soon as you get loaded. Sure you will. Because what happens once you get loaded, people? They're not going to pay you. Because now it's on your truck. They know the shipper's not going to take it back. You're stuck with it. So, don't fall for the scam. So we contacted our funding company, and they sent us a nice little email. And this goes back to some brokers that want to say there's no such thing as double brokering on the broker side. Well, there is. In the email it says, this broker's been flagged for double brokering. I don't care what you call it. Co-broker, funding companies call it double brokering. It's double brokering. It's what it is. So I tell this gentleman, sorry, we can't do business with you. The contractor says, no, I'm not taking the chance either, and pulls his trailer away from the door. We're already at the shipper. Tells the shipper, don't load this trailer. Why is that? Well, the broker's no good. Oh. So we pulled the trailer away from the door, and then the broker calls, and he's all upset. Well, you put me in a spot. Now I don't have any trucks. I told those other people that it was, taken or whatever. Well, don't say you're signed up with this if you're not signed up with us. I got into the software, Axis, right? Got an Axis software, put in the location, that broker, nothing showed up. He said, oh, well, we're using this site. That's what we use. Well, that site is denied also. If you go into TruckersEducation.Network, that's one of the places you can check credit. If you go in there, they're denied. Big old red bullseye, denied. But they still keep us in their system after we said take us out of the system. So you got to watch that. So that's another catch-22, because a lot of single owner operators out there that have their own authority, they just take the load because they don't check. They have no way to check, or they won't pay a small fee for the system to check. And that's just the truth about it, right? So they would take that load, and probably 9 times out of 10 they wouldn't get paid. Plus the broker, they don't want him to say for the broker's been in business for 2 months. What a rough way to start, right? Yes, shout-outs are rough. Nevada Truck and Trails, hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Anybody that has a problem, you can comment to Nevada Truck and Trails, and it's his fault that we did a shout-out. You going to Matt's next year. I plan on it. So I'll probably be there. That's usually the only one I go to. Now, next year, I'm thinking about going to the California Truck Show. If there's still a country to go to the California Truck Show. Yes, Nevada Truck and Trails is the complaint hotline. If you have a problem, address it to Nevada, and he'll take your complaint. Orange Ball 76. I saw a broker this morning that said they would pay with Venmo and Cash App. Wow. Man. What's it coming to, right? What's it coming to? And I did put that link up, right? I did get the link up there. All right, link's up there. What else we got? What is Canadian Freight Broker saying? Two key tips to avoid broker scams. If a person's offered the load, ask for the telephone number. If it doesn't match the number on the MC, call the MC to see if the person called is legitimate. Many agents work from home. Right. So they were legitimate in that aspect of it, but they've been flagged for double brokering. And if they're flagged for double brokering, our funding company won't touch them, right? They won't touch them. So this goes out to all new brokers. If you're a new broker, try not to partake in the so-called co-brokering arena, because some factoring companies will flag you. And when they flag you, then you're flagged on the systems, on the credit check systems, as no buys and all kinds of things. So try to do it legitimate, the right way. You can also align yourself with a funding company if you're a broker, and therefore your stuff's done, and another funding company would probably accept you at that point because you're using a funding company to, factor your loads, and they know they'll get their money the next day or a few days or whatever. So that's a little tip for new brokers. James G hasn't used a broker in over 2 years, which I know why. You have a customer, a direct shipper, which is good. And that's another thing. If you're a single guy and you want to find a direct shipper, find someone that's around your house that has local freight, right? Not all over the place, because usually if you go somewhere, you need to get something back. If you can find local freight, like James did, that's a good way to go, because it's one customer, you're getting your money, you see them every day, and so forth. Morning, Clyde. We'll stick Clyde up there. Hope all is well. It is, man. It's going good. We might go in a little tirade here. Who knows? You never know. What's up, Jersey B? What's going on, Jersey B? Hey, everybody. We'll put the tip number 2 up. Tip number 2. Listen to CDN Freight Broker. Do not listen to anybody else. That's a good tip, CDN. Rob, that's a good tip. Oh, I changed this wording. I'll read it the right way. If you suspect the load might be double brokered, when you arrive at the shipper, ask the shipper the name of the broker they booked the load with. If it doesn't match, call the broker that shipper provided. Right. So, when he told the shipper, sorry, excuse me. When he told the shipper that the broker was a bad broker, we can't haul for him or whatever, shipper didn't even ask or care. He said, okay, just pull your trailer away from the dock. So, who knows, right? What's up, Trucker for Life? What's going on? Big Rig agreed. I wish they would have mats to Vegas. Well, it'd be a little warmer, wouldn't it, Big Rig CO? If Matt's was in Vegas, it'd be warmer, be a lot more stuff to do than Louisville, right? Roll the L's, Louisville, right? Be much more stuff to do than there. That'd be kind of cool, but they're not going to change the venue. And Gats, is Gats ever coming back? I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't think so. I don't think they're coming back, are they? Greetings, Elvery. What's going on? Yeah, watch out for Gmail emails. That's another thing. When you get phishing sites or you get things saying, oh, well, your credit card's been compromised, this and that, call the fraud department. I just go to the bank and ask them. I got one of those today. They keep calling, and then you check your account, and nothing's there, right? Nothing's hit. So I wouldn't even worry about that. Oh, we got our first guest on the show, Mr. Snorelord, the metal vampire, guitar playing, bass playing, best singer in the world. Snorelord,
So,
what's up?
yeah, I was doing my morning live show this morning, and there was a broker, and it was on the 123 low board, and they said in the description that they pay through Venmo or Cash App.
Well,
Like,
that's just a
might as
great
well have
one.
had an email account.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so this broker called like 20 times. No, you need to pick this up. Please pick this up. I pay you now. I pay you now. And then one of our top drivers was on it, and you can figure out who it is, down in the Peach State. And he says, he had the broker on the line. He said, listen, we don't play that game. Goodbye.
it is.
I won't win.
And also the other tip is, do not, like, if you see like let's say you see a load posted by TQL, but then it shows a person and their Gmail account, yeah, that's a no-go.
Right.
That's a no-go. Or any brokerage and the guys use the Gmail account. I mean, I know that I use a Gmail account for booking trucks, my own, but everything can be verified. And every now and then you and I will get a call verifying that a driver can book their own loads.
Correct. And I also click to see what website it came from. And if it's like a .io or some other thing, I just ignore it.
Yeah. So,
see,
but yeah.
now like my debit card, I've gotten 4 calls now. Fraud department. Now, don't you think they'd also send an email? Right? Wouldn't you think they'd also send an email?
Who's fraud in your debit card?
they say somebody's charging up stuff, but I go on there and there's no charges when I log into my
Oh,
account.
yeah. They, there's a great YouTube channel called Scammer Payback, and
Yeah, I watch that.
after my mom, yeah, after my mom was hacked, I really learned a lot about their process, and that's exactly what my mom fell for.
That guy
Luckily, they didn't get any money.
that guy cracks me up, man. He's got always got different color hair. One time he had
Hmm.
purple hair. Did you see him when he had purple hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he does a lot of good. I mean, I know that he tries. I know that he's helped get a lot of victims their money back. So,
Time to start planning my next trip, and it'd be time the ice road closes. See, Jerry's going to get out of there and come down to where it's going to be nice and warm. Time to start planning. What's Canadians saying? If the broker calls you and offers a rate that is too good to be true and you never worked with this broker, red flag. That's another red flag,
yeah,
right? One of these unicorn loads, they call them, and the broker has no history.
yeah,
Yeah. Because they
yep,
could tell you whatever they want. What you get is another story, when it
right.
comes to the pay. But,
Yeah, we
yeah,
got a lot more scams going on with things getting tight. People are getting more creative on trying to take advantage of people that don't know any better.
right.
So,
And there's a lot of owner operators that, they fund their own business, which we could go into a debate on that, but that's for another time. Uh, Personally, I'm not going to hold up my cash flow uh, for people I don't even know and hope they send me a check. That that's like, you go to a bank, they run your credit score, everything. They look at all the stuff you got going on, um, all your debts you owe before they loan you money. Then they want your signature and everything else, right? Where you go to a broker, say, yeah, I'll haul that load, and then they hold your money for 30, 40, 50, 60 days, and you're not getting no percentage or nothing. It's just free, and it's a stranger. You don't even know them.
yeah,
It makes no sense. But to each is their own.
right.
But there's a lot of benefits that come along with using a service. And those benefits uh, lessen your time, and time is money, and you can use that time to do other things to grow your business, which I believe you come out ahead when you do that. But
Well, when you're looking at a lot of brokers are paying 30 to 60 days now, and fuel as high as it is, I mean,
right,
there's really no room for error.
right, because you could be floating a lot of money, and if somebody says, "Well, I don't factor," but they have a line of credit, that's factoring. I don't care how you call it. If you have a line of credit at the
Yeah,
bank and you're accessing that line of credit, once you go past that 30 days, you're paying. Your interest goes. You're paying on that line of credit. Oh, snow alert's got somebody important. Rob must be texting in on him.
no, no, just a news alert. I don't know why it's vibrating my phone, but I guess they found that Wisconsin man that drove in the Christmas parade. I guess they found him guilty.
Oh, the one that
That's
ran
good.
over everybody.
Yeah.
Well, should he be
So,
guilty?
well, I mean, you got to go to trial.
I mean, you're
Amen.
driving a car and you run over people. And
Well, I better take this, Jeff.
all right, there goes Steve. What's up, Stuart? What's going on? Yeah, so just protect yourself in this business because you know the margins are small, right? Your profit margins are small in this business, and just watch yourself. Join the websites or programs that you can do credit checks. If you don't do them, you should start doing them, and make sure that that broker has good credit and they pay on time. Because you could bring up their history and they might have all kinds of problems. If you don't check, you don't know. So always cover your, CYA. Always cover it. Oh, that coffee's cold. Oh, it's like drinking an iced coffee. I bet you that's what Alaska Trucker feels like when he goes into the truck stop, gets a nice hot cup of coffee, and by the time he walks to his truck, it probably tastes like this. Yeah, Big Rig CO. I think we're going to start that next Tuesday. We're going to have it on Tuesdays. Owner-operator profit strategies. And if you want to be on the show, I'd appreciate it. If you want to come in, and because everybody has their own way that they look at strategy and how to make a profit in this business and what to do. And if a lot of people join in on a weekly show, maybe we can help the new guys that are coming in that might not know that technique. Maybe they can learn something to save their business. And that's what this channel has been about, is try to help people in this industry. And that's why we do it. Maybe I'll call Rob up today. Pay me some long distance charges. All right, so that's what I want to talk about, was the little incident we had this morning, and let people know out there that there are, well, they call it double brokering. The funding companies do, if these brokers get caught into that. And if they do that practice, you might not want to deal with them, because even the big companies do it, right? Even the big companies do it. And when this happens, you can have a lot of problems. Just like when I was saying in the other video, we had one of our drivers that had to sit 7 days on a load because of the double brokering aspect. Because this big carrier got it from this big, this big broker, got it from this big broker, who got it from this other broker, and the appointments never matched. And then they had to wait until, go all the way down the line until they get the one that could actually reset a new appointment. And it's just a whole lot of trouble, right? It's a lot of trouble. But when they do something like that, it's okay, right? It's okay. But if a carrier did something like that, oh, you would think it's the end of the world. You would think it's the end of the world. Just like when there's a claim, right? There's some damaged product. It's never the shipper's fault. It's never the receiver's fault. It's always the driver's fault, is what they try to blame. It's what they try to do. So cover yourself. Just like I was reading in a Facebook, Chad's thing, rate per mile master, whatever. I got a thing from them, so I looked at it, and this gentleman had a missing pallet, right? But here's the problem he has. He's going to have to pay for that pallet. He said, well, the broker said it's my fault. It's on my truck. I'm responsible for it, blah, blah, blah. The shipper never put it on there. Well, first thing you ask him, did the shipper seal the load? No. Did you seal the load? No. What can you do? Look, you learn this from day one in trucking. I don't know where this gentleman went to truck driving school or where he got his credentials at, but this is the deal. And before I get to that, you're right, Big Rig CO. They do it because the odds of you filing a lawsuit is zero, right? Because time, right? If it's not that much money of a load, $1,000, whatever, you're not going to waste your time. If you take a day off, or 2 days off to go down somewhere, to do a trial or even small claims, you're wasting more time than the money you're going to get or might not get. Now, back to the seal question. Always carry seals in your truck. And if you don't have any, stop at the truck stop and buy some. I always had 20 or 30 seals in my truck. I just kept them there. And when they got down a little low, I bought more. Because this is what you do. If the shipper doesn't seal it, go in there with your seal when you pick up the paperwork. Have one in your pocket. If they don't hand you a seal, say, I'm going to seal the trailer. Write down on the BOL that seal number and ask them to watch you put the seal on and initial it. If they don't, then say, seal that shipper and initial it. And then when you get to the receiver, have them verify the seal that it's on there. And then that way, if there's anything missing in that trailer, it's not on you. It's on the shipper. Because obviously if it was sealed when you took it and it was sealed when you got there, it wasn't ever put on there. Right. Seals are cheap on Amazon. U-line, right? If you get a U-line book, I get a U-line book all the time. It's about, yay thick, like the old telephone books. U-line sells seals. Everybody has seals. But if you want them cheap, Amazon or U-line, you can get them really cheap there. Truck stop, last resort. I mean, if you want to pay $5 for 2 or 3 seals, that's fine. It's better than paying a claim for, $2,000 for a missing pallet or $10,000 or whatever that pallet costs. So if you can't get some cheap ones, go in there and get it. Right. And you can also note it, SLC, shipper load and count, or write it out. If the shipper says you can't do that, do it anyway. What are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. They can throw a fit. They can do whatever they want. But you know what, folks? It's like this. When they hand you that paper, right? This is how it works. Because it's your business, right? They hand you the paper, the bill lading. Sign it, driver. Okay. Sign it and put shipper load and count, seal number, and write the seal number down. And hand it back to them. If they say you can't do that, say, sure I can. I just did it. If you don't like that shipper, then take the freight back off my truck. Then they're not going to do that. Because it takes them, forever. They don't even want to work. It takes them forever to even do anything. Just do it. Yeah, seals are real cheap at Niagara self-checkout. Right, Just Trucking. That's all you got to do. Just Trucking just goes to Niagara and does a self-checkout. He just grabs a handful of seals. Or, ask one of the big mega carrier guys, hey, you got any extra seals? All the J.B. Hunt, Schneider guys, Warner guys, they got books of them in their truck. Right. SLC is part of your signature. There you go. Just think of a different name for SLC. Just tell them that's what it stands for. Right? What else we got here? Jerry says, that's why truckers sit down for coffee. In Coldfoot, Purdue, let's see. That's why they pay us the big bucks. It's all about coffee breaks. Well, yeah. By the time you get done, you're eating ice cream. Iced coffee, right? You just got to take an ice pick and chisel your coffee out of the bottom of the cup. Yeah, going back to Big Rig CEO, the problem with, filing a lawsuit, more than likely, it's going to be in small claims court. But then, they're going to say, well, in our contract, You got to do it in our state, in our town, and all this. And then they also want to say in their contract about layover and things like that. And they say that's an ironclad contract. That's what these brokers will tell you. It's an ironclad contract. You signed it. So if you have to sit 5 or 6 days, it's $250 a day. No, it can't be an infinite amount of days that you're going to sit in that load. And two, if it is such an ironclad contract like they say, then when you're there at that appointment time and they don't unload you, well, the contract's over. Is it not? You fulfilled the contract. You got to the receiver. If you had a 7 a.m. appointment, you got there at 6:50 a.m. and you're there, you fulfilled the contract. You're there at the receiver at the given time. Anything after that, to me, is fair game. Ask a lawyer. Because there's no judge in this country that's going to tell you, oh, well, they got right down here $250 a day, and if your truck payment's $3,000, and you got to sit there. That's not going to work. I had a shipper refuse to allow us to inspect produce load. When I wrote it on the bills, they said you can't do that. I said then unload the trailer, and they backed down. Right. They're not going to unload it. They're not going to do it. They'll yell and scream and carry on, right? When it comes down to it, it's your business. That's your truck. That's your trailer. It's not theirs. And if you have rules, well, if you want this product in my trailer, you want me to haul it to point B, you got to follow my rules too. These are my rules. I don't load anything in my trailer that I don't strap down and that I don't seal up, and I'm going to put it on the bill. If I'm not there to watch you load this trailer, because I'm not allowed on the dock, I can't tell what you're putting on there. So I'm going to put on there SLC, right? I'm going to put on there ship load and count, and I'm going to put on there sealed, and you can even write on there not responsible for damaged product. Because this is another thing. You go to a grocery warehouse and they set a pallet back on your truck and say, oh, this box was damaged, but they reject the whole pallet. How do you know that box wasn't damaged before they even put it on the trailer? You don't. And if you're not allowed on the dock when they unload it, how do you know that they didn't take a damaged box or 2 or 3 boxes and stuck them on the pallet when they got another one of those loads in? Because they do it, right? The grocery warehouse do it because they don't want to lose the money. So they'll stick damaged product from another load back on your trailer. Nine thumbs up, 40 more. YouTube algorithm. I don't get any algorithms. I'm not like Just Trucking, right? Just Trucking gets all kinds of algorithms. I don't get no algorithms. Of course, I don't do that many videos anymore. So, regardless if it's the shipper or carrier seal, take picture and email proof to broker or customer at time of pickup. There's another thing, right, CDN? This is way different from back when I first started driving. You didn't have cell phones. They gave you cameras. You get the old Polaroids, you take a picture and it gives you a picture right away. You could do that, right? But with the cell phone technology and everything nowadays, yeah, take a picture, or you could even do a video, right? If you do a 10 or 15 second video of you walking back to the trailer and you're showing that you're at their dock, then they can't say the picture was taken somewhere else. So you could do picture or video, whatever you want to do, and then save it in a file. And then after the load's done, you get paid for it. You can delete those pictures. You should be good to go. What's happening, Cool Trucking? What's going on? Well, not much. We're just talking about if you deal with brokers, you want to do broker checks. And if the broker don't check out, then don't haul the load, because more than likely you might not get paid for it. And when I was talking about funding companies rejecting, saying the load, they wouldn't factor that load because of double brokering. And of course, didn't know there's such a word as double brokering. On the broker side, right? They call it co-brokering, but even the funding companies call it double brokering. And so do the credit check places. They also cover it. They also use that same terminology. So, what's up, TBT USA? What's going on? Car Hauler Tim. What's going on, Car Hauler Tim? Damage. Try hauling cars. Auto dealers are crooks. Well, yeah, man, you really got to watch that, right, Tim? I used to haul cars a long time ago in a van trailer. Not, I did it for United and stuff. But you got to check that over, them cars over really, really well, because if there's a slight little scratch and you didn't even do it, they're going to try to ding you for it, right? Just the name of the game. Everything comes down to the person that has all of the responsibility in this business. You got the truck, you got the trailer, you got the insurance, you got to worry about all the cars out there causing you problems, the shippers taking your money and causing you problems, the receivers doing the same thing, affecting you if they don't load you in time or till you don't have an appointment, make you sit for days. Then you got the brokers that want to fine you if anything goes wrong, but something goes wrong in their end, it's okay, no big deal. Same thing with the receiver, no big deal. Same thing with the shipper, no big deal. Then you got lumpers that want to get in your back pocket, but most lumpers are paid, right? But some aren't. So you have that aspect of it. You got DOT wanting to get in your back pocket. Then you got the government that's all doing the regulations to get in your back pocket. And then you got the truck stops that overcharge you an ungodly amount of money for anything you buy in there. You go in there and buy a headlight. I want $20, but you can get it at Walmart for $9. Same thing with anything else you buy in there. What's a bottle of pop or soda, however you want to call it? What's that cost you in a truck stop nowadays? $2.50, $3 for a bottle. You get a 6-pack for that. And then some truck stops, where they come off and charge you $25 for a shower now. There's a couple places that are $25 for a shower. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Plus, they want to charge you for parking. If you go to some of these truck stops, half of them are now paid parking. That's why I say, I'm glad I got out of the truck when I did. Yeah, so, there's a lot of things that affect this industry. And then, they don't want to pay you, right? They want to lower the rates, and then they want to blame it on capacity and this and that. And then you got fear mongers out there that say, we're running low on this, we're running low on that. Just take it day by day, right? Take it day by day. And the biggest thing is if we could form, and I don't like unions that well, but because if you ever went to General Motors or Ford and had to deal with unions, you'd know. Especially in the trucking part of it. Unbelievable. If the general public knew that's how it was, maybe they'd know why their stuff costs so much, right? But if all the truckers in the country were under a umbrella, things would be different. Especially all the carriers, owner-operators, right? Things would be different. Rates would be different. Wouldn't be putting up with this stuff because, look, the railroads don't put up with it. If you go to Quebec, anybody don't know where that's at, you go up to Quebec. If those drivers get upset and don't like what's going on, they shut it down. They shut the whole country down, right? They'll just park their trucks. They'll block the way stations, everything. I've seen it happen. And they get what they want. I feel for the new drivers. It's intentional. All paid parking is site side. Fuel is $5.50 Baltimore and heading for the sky. Well, fuel could be a whole lot less. Look, if anybody watches all this rhetoric on TV and they think, releasing 17 million barrels of oil is going to do anything for the prices of diesel, nothing. It's going to do nothing. Does that even cover one day of our oil usage? Oh, we're going to tap the strategic reserves and, we're going to release some oil. Does absolutely nothing. How about opening up all the wells in Texas? How about let's start fracking again? How about we do our own oil dependency? Now that will drive down prices. Don't get me started. Oh, Lord, don't get me started. Checking in, Seymour, Indiana. I'm sure you know where I am. I don't know, Sean. Seymour. You must be at the TA. No, I'm just kidding. I know where you're at. Say hi to John if he's still working there at the guard shack. I can understand that big warehouses don't want drivers inside the warehouse for safety. However, it's 2022. They can have video camera on each dock, and TVs and driver lounge are apt to watch. Excellent idea, Canadian freight broker. But will they ever do that? That should be. Therefore, there's, this thing that if a shipper had recording devices on every dock and they recorded everything that went in, they could even protect themselves. Say, look, we put 22 pallets on there. Look, you just watch the video. There's 22 went on, not 21. But will they do it? Probably not. Yeah, it's 640 in PA. That depends on the union. I was in a national union for 20 years and had position as a legislative director and labor chairman. Some are good, some are bad. Depends on the union. Exactly, TBT. It does depend on the union. For example, I used to go to truck and bus all the time on a daily basis. I ran local truck and bus. And I would go there and I'd back into the dock and go inside, and all the workers there, the auto workers, would be sitting at a table playing dominoes. So they played about a half hour, and I'm the only one at the dock, right? They said, we'll be with you in a little bit. Okay. So they play for a half hour. They get up, and they leave. I said, you gonna unload me? I said, no, it's lunchtime now. So they're playing dominoes. It wasn't even lunchtime. Then they went on lunch. Then they come back from lunch. And this is what really puts a bad taste in your mouth about unions, right? Because, everybody has their own job and no one can do anything else but their job. And, their forklifts are governed at a certain, speed and everything else, right? So this gentleman gets on his forklift. He drives in. And all I had was 5 racks on the truck. 5. I think I was hauling fenders at that time. And he pulls one rack off, sets it right there on the dock plate, and just sits there. For like 10 minutes, he's just sitting there. I'm like, what's this guy doing? He could have had the whole trailer unloaded by now. Here comes a guy, finally shows up, walks up there, grabs the scanner that's on the forklift, points it down at the label on the rack and scans it in, sets it back up, and then the guy drives and takes off, comes back, and he does it again. And I'm like, what's the deal? Well, that's his job. He's got to scan it in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Accountability in trucking, that's never going to happen. It's easier to blame the driver. Exactly. Easy to pass it all the way down to the bottom of the line, right? But without the driver, what do they have? Nothing. Without that truck and trailer, the shipper and receiver have nothing. That is the most important out of all the equation is the tractor trailer. Because without them, nothing gets moved. They all forget it, except, when COVID, right? They remembered in COVID when the country was shut down and they wanted the owner-operator and the company drivers, all drivers, right? They wanted truck drivers to go out there and so-called risk their life hauling the freight to get them the goods for the country. And things were going well, right? The pace started getting up there and everything. But then once everything got back to normal, they forgot all about the driver again, right? Mohammed says, lots of scams, double brokering happening. Smooth Trucking says, rolls downhill. That's what it does. It's rolled downhill. Try dealing with the longshoremen. Well, yeah, that's another story. What are you talking about? The cars that come over from overseas? Two broke Tim. You got to deal with them. Is that what you're talking about? I'll see if Tim answers. Cool Truck, it says, fuel prices are moving back up. Just wait till after the election. To the moon. It depends on who wins the elections. You better get out and vote, right? You better get out and vote. Which, who knows what's going to happen? Because supposedly we've already had a huge voter turnout in absentee ballots and early voting, supposedly, in those states that you can do that. And if you ever watch the news, like in Michigan, the governor deal, the governor race, it's getting ugly, right? They're throwing blows back and forth, and every race is getting that way. It's gonna be an ugly election when it comes down to mudslinging, right? It's kind of like a YouTube video. It's kind of like YouTube truckers, right? Whenever they gets mad at everybody and they just start saying all kinds of stuff. That's what it's like right now. Just check Pennsylvania out with, was it Fetterman and Oz? Those two guys. Yeah, it's bad when I think $5 for unleaded is cheap. Hey, I got unleaded the other day for $4. Man, I thought that was great. $4. Well, of course, a year or so ago, I was only paying $1.90 for it. Or 2 years ago. Can't remember nowadays. Feels like it's been an eternity. On a national scale. That's correct. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to get out of here. And next Tuesday night, Big Rig CEO, I think we'll try to vamp up the OOPS show. OOPS, OOPS. Owner-Operator Profit Strategies. If you're around Tuesday night, I'm thinking around 8:30 Eastern time start time. Latest will be 9 p.m. Eastern time, but we'll try for 8:30. We will do the OOPS show, right? The OOPS segment. Let me go through these things right here before we hit the road. At this rate, the next presidential election will have violence. Well, here's another thing, Snorlord. In our elections here, now they're saying, well, you might not get the result for days. Wait a minute. Every election, we got the results 3 or 4 hours after the polls closed. They're talking it could take days. Why is that? All of a sudden, why is that? What is going on in this country? What's really happening? You guys need, pull back the blinders and be vigilant, because, something's going on. About the proposal, well, if you look at AB 5 and you look at the 2021 IC rule, they're different. There's some different terminology in there. So an independent contractor that doesn't qualify in the AB 5 would qualify under that rule. It's a lot more vague, a lot more leadway on which way it would go, because they're not structured the same. The terminology is not the same in them. So it is a little bit different. Not much, but a little bit different when it comes to how to classify. Smooth Trucking says, I sure hope the white women who hated Trump for his mean tweets are now wishing they could get the mean tweets back instead of worry about the apocalypse. Alaska Trucker, awesome. Just trucking, appreciate it. Appreciate the compliment. Big Houston, you have a good day also. Vote Red says Smooth Trucking. We'll go on down here until we run out, and then we're out of here. Things don't change. We will fall like Rome. Well, Clyde, that's a given, right? Eventually, everything falls. Eventually. Just don't know how long the ride will last. It takes time to manufacture those votes. Why is the mighty Mississippi drying up all of a sudden? Oh, don't get the climate control people involved. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anybody see the DeWalt on Facebook? Anybody see the DeWalt lawnmower? Anybody see that electric mower catch fire at the trade show? Anybody see that? Man, that thing came with heated seats. That technology has a long way to go, folks. Could you imagine if you were on that lawnmower ride and that thing burst in flames like that? And, if you were seat belted in and couldn't get the belt off? Unbelievable. Yeah, Smooth Trucking. Go on Facebook, type in the search, DeWalt, type in DeWalt electric lawnmower on fire. And it'll show you, right? They're at a trade show, and it's just inferno. That thing is blazing. Max Force says, what's going on is Democrats are stealing elections and Justice Department refuses to investigate and indict. CTS Video says, T.E.N, always a calm and reasonable place to get educated and learn how to run a successful trucking business. Thanks. Well, I appreciate the compliment there, CTS Video. Yeah, we try to streamline it for people because, why try to fix something if it ain't broken? So that's why I share with everybody, if they want to use the same products I use, those folks give, good discounts to use their products, and it's all streamlined, right? So for the single owner operator and things like that, Trucking Office is a good program to keep track of your business. and everybody knows the code to get the discount. You can look in the descriptions that's in there. AXISTMS, that's more geared to fleet operation, and single drivers can use it also, but it has a lot of integration, which saves you time, and time is money. So you don't have to do a whole lot of data entry. And then, of course, Thunder Funding, best funding company out there. Tell them I sent you. You'll get a good deal. They got a good fuel card. They're one of the only ones that offer a fuel card in the funding business. And they know trucking. That's the biggest thing. They know trucking. And they're actually out there to help you. Not sure if they sold any after that. Did you watch the video? They want people to believe the elections are rigged so no one comes out to vote. Essentially giving up. Well, I'm going to get out there and vote. Got to go vote. That's because they're using a cobalt-based battery instead of a lithium ion phosphate. Way safer technology. Fire Dog Mitch, what's going on? If you don't know how to live off the land, you're going to be in trouble in future. Walter is going to kill our country. We need Pat Paulson in the White House, says Two Broke Tim. I wish Fogline was a web-based program. I liked it very much. Yes, Clyde. Ray White, Fogline program there, inventor. Great guy. It's a good program. It's just not web-based. And then, so if you need something that you can access anywhere in the country or world, that's hard to do. But a great program. If you're owner-operator, and I think Snowlord, if you still got a discount for Fogline, put it up there in the chat, Snowlord. But, if you have a Windows-based computer and you don't mind, working on the one computer, one-man show, it's a good program. It'll do everything you need to do. SA10 for Snowlord, SA10. Ray puts out, that product's been around forever. I mean, I started using that a long time ago. I don't know, 20 years. I forget how long ago it was. And then I used it all the way up until I went to Trucking Office, and then I graduated up to AXIS TMS. So I still use Trucking Office. I go in there, still play around with it, because I got a lot of guys that call me up and ask me questions on how to do things on it. And so I still stay adversed with it to know how it's going and what's going on with it. So all good programs. You pick the one that suits what you need for your business, because you can always upgrade or downgrade it at any given time, right? Ray is a cool dude. He is. Ringgold, Georgia. If you're in town, go see him. He's got an office right there. James G still uses it, right? At fishing is life. Weights and fish. All right, we got some other stuff coming in, messages. Oh boy, I got to get back to work. Yes, Jonathan. Tommy, I appreciate it, Tommy. Thanks for the support. I use it easy as pie, says PJ. All right, we're out of here. We got to go do some stuff. Thanks for watching. And remember, Tuesday night we'll do owner-operator profit strategies, and hopefully we get a lot of people that join in. Live show. I'm gonna start doing a bunch of regular videos instead of lives. Maybe some whiteboards and things like that. Even though they're on the thing, I might do them again. You just put them out there because they're new, and new folks out there that might need a different look at approach on how to become profitable. And that's another thing. That RPM deal, I looked at that, and they had a posting. What do you use, CPM or CPD? Cost per mile or cost per day. And somebody says it's way more complicated than that. It is way more complicated than that if you use cost per mile. If you use cost per day, it's not more complicated. There's not more to it. If you put everything in under the sun in there, and you know your days, that's your cost. Phone's ringing. Gotta go. See ya.